privacy is not an option, and it shouldn't be a price we accept for just getting on the internet. These words by tech entrepreneur Gary Kovacs carry more and more weight as technology rapidly advances. The seemingly exponential growth of the abilities of technology has led to some of the most astonishing discoveries and inventions. Alongside these accomplishments are the issues that have also resulted from the advances in technology. One of the most significant issues that has risen due to the rapid advancement of technology is the concept of cyber espionage. Although it sounds fancy, the word cyber means technology-based, and espionage means spying with the intent of gaining information. In recent years, cyber espionage has become increasingly more prevalent due to its effectiveness and convenience. As of today, cyber espionage is still a very young and relatively unrecognized issue. However, don't be fooled. Cyber espionage is one of the most powerful tactics that countries have began using to gain advantage over each other. A great example of this can be seen in the examination of the Pegasus software created by the company NSO Group in Israel. Pegasus is a type of spyware, which means that it is a software used to access the information on a victim's device without their consent or prior knowledge. The main devices that Pegasus targets are mobile phones, the majority being products of Apple and Android. This exceptionally powerful spyware has been used in many different scenarios, some good, others not so much. For instance, in 2014, the popular Mexican cartel boss, Joaquin Guzman, more famously known as El Chapo, was arrested for the second time with the help of early versions of the Pegasus spyware. NSO Group was able to track El Chapo's whereabouts by spying through the cell phones of El Chapo's most trusted acquaintances. Mexican President Felipe Calderón even publicly thanked NSO, saying, "I couldn't have asked for a better Christmas present. With what you guys gave us, we can finally eradicate the cartels." In contrast, Pegasus has also been linked to heinous crimes like the murder of Saudi Arabian journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi, for the majority of his life, was a citizen in Saudi Arabia and even an advisor for the Saudi Arabian government. In 2017, Khashoggi fled to the US in protest of the Saudi Arabian government and became a journalist for the Washington Post. Khashoggi's content focused mostly on criticism of the Saudi Arabian government, which was perfectly legal in the United States. While NSO strongly denies the claim that they sold their spyware to the Saudi government, Ron Deibert, leader of the Citizen Lab at the University of Toronto, claims that Pegasus is being used by autocratic dictators who can mount global cyber espionage operations simply by purchasing the technology. In other words, Saudi Arabia, along with other countries, have used these advanced technologies to commit heinous crimes. An interesting question that can arise from this topic is, does cyber espionage strengthen or weaken American government? To answer this question, first we must analyze the previous information. It is evident from President Calderón's message to NSO that these espionage technologies are extremely powerful. To suggest that the technology could eradicate the cartels of Mexico proves that cyber espionage could play a tremendous role in the future of the justice system. The United States, in theory, could use cyber espionage to protect the country both internally and externally. Imagine a world where terrorist plans similar to the September 11th attacks are discovered by the government far before they can take action. At the same time, there can be negative effects if the US government institutes these technologies. The most notable of these negative effects being the invasion of privacy. Through further analysis, it is clear from Deibert's claim that the technology is powerful enough for countries to easily mount global cyber espionage operations. These countries would use stolen information to achieve these operations. While the US would likely not use the technology in this manner, it is certain that they would have access to detailed information of hundreds of millions of American citizens. This, to many people, is a clear invasion of privacy. According to the Ronald Reagan Library and Museum, the Fourth Amendment protects the American people from unreasonable searches and seizures. It can be argued that having nearly unlimited access to a citizen's personal device information is beyond an unreasonable search or seizure. While the idea that something so invasive could be introduced by the government may seem surprising, a similar situation has occurred in US history. Following the devastating attacks on September 11th in 2001, the US government passed the Patriot Act. According to the US government, The official title of the USA Patriot Act is Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism. In simpler terms, the government strengthened itself with the main goal of intercepting and catching terrorist groups, specifically Al-Qaeda. Some notable abilities that the government gained as a result of the Patriot Act was the ability to tap phone calls and emails, track the internet activity of all Americans, and collect bank and credit reporting records. The parallels between the Patriot Act and the cyber espionage technologies are striking but true. As cyber espionage technology continues to evolve, there are certain adaptations that the US government will have to make in order to keep our democratic government strong. It seems clear that there are two main paths that the US government can take. Either they implement this new technology or they avoid it. If the technology is implemented, there must be legislation passed alongside its introduction that prevents the mass invasion of privacy. Without this legislation, I cannot see the technology being legal, considering it is a seemingly direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. That being said, the Patriot Act was passed and effective for nearly 20 years. Therefore, this scenario is not unlikely. If the technology isn't implemented, however, the US stands a clear disadvantage to the many other powerful countries that abuse the technology. So why should Americans be aware of this topic? In reality, the chances that the US government already has access to similar or identical technology as Pegasus is highly likely. As citizens, it is important to understand what the future may look like. It seems evident that as technology advances further and further, that cyber warfare will become increasingly more prevalent. As citizens in a democratic nation and hopefully active voters, knowing the future of the country is crucial when voting in any election. As members of a democracy, it is up to us as a nation to pave the future of America. Thanks for watching.